But joining me right now is a man who gives me much joy. He knows it. And now I get to tell him that. Once again, he's the general manager of the New York Jets, Joe Douglas, here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, Rich. How you doing, bud? Good to be back.
Oh, boy. How am I doing? Well, that's a great question. I'm filled with hope. I'm filled with excitement, Joe. And like what you're doing. I like the cut of your jib, sir. I'm not going to lie. I appreciate it. That's how I'm doing. How are you?
We're good. It's our off day today and tidying up a few things, and then we roll into the week of practice, getting ready for Buffalo on Monday night.
You feeling super, Joe? Is that a word you would use, an adjective to describe how you're feeling? You describe yourself as super?
I think everybody's excited. I think we're ready to get this thing going. I mean, we've been in camp since July 19th, so we've had almost a 2-month-long camp, so it'll be good to get this thing rolling.
Oh, okay. You won't even use the adjective. Do you use the adjective? Like you go to the market, you won't even call it a supermarket? Is that what's going on in your life right now, Joe? You won't even use the word?
There's other superlatives that I'll use. I think there's the right time to use.
It's not called the superlative bowl, Joe. You know what it's called. Aaron didn't say that the superlative trophy is lonely. You know what I mean? He said the word. He said the word.
He said the word, and we're all doing this for the same goal, right?
Okay.
So
all right.
That road starts soon, so we're just fired up to get this thing going.
When did Rodgers first show up on your radar screen, Joe?
I think the first time he showed up on the radar screen was about a week after the season when I had an initial call with Brian, and at the time I didn't see it as a realistic option. You hold him in such reverence as a player and what he's done, and we're in the middle of our end of season process and getting ready to get in with the coaches and dive into everything that we need to do to put our off season plan together. And so that was just an initial conversation, and then as the days and the weeks progressed and we got closer to the combine, closer to free agency, and I think that's when it started to become more of a reality as we were talking with Dave Dunn and Brian.
And at any point when you mentioned the idea to Woody Johnson, did he say, really, we're going to go for Green Bay's GOAT, first ballot Hall of Famer quarterback again? Did he have any sort of flashbacks that you had to work through with the man who writes the checks, Joe, on that?
No, I mean, I think from day one, Woody was excited about this opportunity, about adding a player of this caliber to the team, and not only him, but just any great player. We've been able to add some really good players over the last couple of years, and adding a guy like Aaron and adding a guy like Dalvin. I mean, Woody's been very very supportive in going after players like that.
When did you first learn the interest was mutual with Rodgers, Joe?
I think it was when we were allowed to talk with Dave Dunn.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us permission around the combine to have that initial discussion. And then the more we talked, the more it became that this could be a realistic option. And then, of course, when we all jumped on the plane and flew out to Malibu, that's probably when it became surreal and real, at the same time.
Why was it surreal to you?
I just flying out to go see Aaron Rodgers and sit in his home, talk to him about joining the New York Jets, a team that you've been working with for the last few years, and it's surreal, sitting there and having those conversations and getting to know him as a person, because you know all about him as a player, but getting to know him as a man, that was a special thing.
When was his contract redone? Was that part of the delay that was between that dinner and the actual trade? Joe, talking contract that, Rodgers 100% coughed up money that he could earn if he finished his contract, but took less of that money to go to the Jets, Joe? Yeah,
I don't think that was part of the delay in terms of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the delay was was just us and Brian working it out as to what the terms would be for the trade. But it wasn't about the contract.
So the contract had nothing to do with it. But was it around then when he said, let's do this? Because obviously I'd imagine you needed some certainty on that front to acquire Aaron Rodgers, Joe.
Yeah, there were some initial conversations. We didn't really hammer it out until we got into training camp. But there was just some initial conversations of what it might look like, some kind of broad strokes. And then we finalized everything shortly after we came back in July.
And then just seeing him, it looks like he's been around the metropolitan area his whole life, with what's been going on. Are you even somewhat taken aback at how comfortable he has appeared and how quickly he has taken over the role of leading this team and the players who are excited to follow him? I'm wondering your perspective on all of that, Joe Douglas.
Yeah, not after my initial opportunity to get to meet him. I was certainly blown away just by his how thoughtful, how genuine he is as a person. So I'm not surprised that he was able to come here and really build these connections with his teammates, ingratiate himself with the city of New York. I think it's been a natural thing for him, and it's been cool to see these relationships blossom as he's been here.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.